listening to the Kent Lapp Podcast.
At a national news level, and it's not just the right or just the left, it looks like it's both. When they're reporting on something, it's getting to the point where it's conveyed in a manner that's so angry and almost fearful. Like you can almost see the fear in their eyes. It's like, are you acting right now, or are you scared out of your mind? Like it's angry. It seems very fearful. It seems very forceful, and it's not very becoming. Like it just doesn't seem. Is that something that's trained? Do they do that because that's what keeps attention? It keeps people watching and kind of lends into this fear mongering, which keeps people glued to the TV, which helps with viewership, which helps with sponsorships and advertising, which helps their business. Is that what it is? Or are they genuinely scared out of their mind when they're reporting the news?
Honestly, your timeline of things sounds very rational. Of course, I haven't worked in network news, so I have no clue what goes on there.
Yeah.
So I can only have opinions on it, but I'll have to watch, and I'll keep you posted on that. I know for us, if you watch local news, there's none of that. The reason I mostly stay away from national news is every time I turn it on, it's an opinion piece.
Yeah.
And I don't care to know anybody else's opinion. I can talk to my friends and family. I want to know the facts when I turn on the news so I can make my own opinion. I don't want to. I listen to podcasts, and I told you I want to be an entertainment reporter.
Mm-hmm.
I listened to one about Bravo reality television, right? And I was talking to a friend who doesn't listen to that podcast, and we were talking about the show. And I found myself being completely different from her in our views because I listened to that podcast and I listened to what they say about it. And I thought their view is correct because that's the only information I'm getting besides my own.
Mm-hmm.
And I worry that if I listen to too many opinions on people who are on my television, they make a good enough case and I don't hear the other side at all,
right,
that I am not going to have a full view of it and just take on their own opinion.
Well, I think that's a human nature thing, and I think that is happening all over the country. And I don't think at scale, I don't know if people are even know that, or honestly, I don't even know if they care anymore.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they are forming their own narratives of reality and getting so entrenched in their own streams of information and their own pitch on everything that it's sort of hard to kind of see eye to eye when you come into contact with people that you don't normally come into contact, and they're spending time getting entrenched in their own ideas.
And I think especially with Facebook, in the way that social media curates your timeline.
Yep.
It's a lot of times the exact same way that you feel because you're liking those posts. And so your algorithm is that way. And then you're watching the news that only has your views. And so more and more people with different views than you just feel more alien because they're different from you. And you're not spending any time with them. You're not hearing why they feel that way. You're just thinking they feel different, and everything that I'm filling my time with. I mean, if I look at my phone and how much I'm on social media, it's hours some days.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're spending hours reading what you think is correct, then of course everything else, the unknown is scary.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Absolutely right. I found a guy named David French. Man, it's definitely French. He actually lives in Franklin, and he's a Christian gentleman, and it's David French, and he's part of, I think it's called the Dispatch. I think that's sort of the company, and I get an email from them every morning, and they do a good job. That's a good news source. I like that.
Just a newsletter with news on it.
Yeah. It's just an email with like the take of the day, and it comes out at 5 or 6 a.m. every morning. They seem relatively balanced. They're not shy about not liking Trump, but they still do a good job on reporting news in a somewhat fair, it seems, balanced manner. And I kind of trust them. I mean, it's not hard to tell. Like, I think they're actually conservative. I think they're a little bit more towards the conservative side, maybe. I think they seem fairly centered.
But it's great that you can't tell.
Right. You can't tell. But it's interesting that they lean, I feel like they probably lean a touch more conservative, and yet they're not fans of Trump. And they don't say that, but you can just sort of tell, like with the way that they, talk about him routinely. So I like that. I get the Wall Street Journal every morning. I still like the actual newspaper. There's something about that I really like. And recently I started following Glenn Greenwald. He was the guy that Edward Snowden released the documents through. And Glenn Greenwald in The Intercept is kind of who I'm following.
Awesome.
I don't spend a lot of time like on Twitter, like sifting through the news and stuff. But
don't. It's an angry place.
Yeah, it definitely is. And it's like, it's bottomless. You know, that's what I like about the newspaper is from the time I pick it up, the time I set it down, there's not going to be news stories that jump in, and there's not going to be stories that jump out. It is what it is. You can take as much time as you want reading it through, and then you can set it down. Like, it doesn't change, you know?
I've never, by the time I was in the 5th grade, the internet was a thing. So I've only gotten my news, I feel like, from the internet or the TV.
Okay.
So that's really cool. I might have to start getting a newspaper.
Yeah. Yeah, you might want to consider it. I think that it is still has a place in society, not just for old people, you know?